Ash, the sole survivor of the Evil Dead, returns to the same cabin in the woods and again unleashes the forces of the dead. With his girlfriend possessed by demons and his body parts running amok, Ash is forced to single-handedly battle the legions of the damned as the most lethal and groovy hero in horror movie history. So welcome to Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, director Sam Raimi's infamous sequel to The Evil Dead, an outrageous prequel to Army of Darkness. And
that must have been a
about all the
re-release tape.
state-of-the-art stuff, you know.
Okay.
I don't think you need the rest.
I could have had you read the original tape up there, but we're good. Evil Dead 2. So, like I said, my friend was lending me these movies. And I'm like, okay, well, Evil Dead 1 was a lot of fun.
Wasn't he in your phone as, like, Evil Dead guy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I used to have, I used to put weird names for people. Well, actually...
I'm sure you still do.
Dan and my brother-in-law were both in my phones as either Dan, Monica's boyfriend, Don, Nicole's husband, or Don, Nicole's boyfriend, and then both on the nights of both the weddings, I changed it to Dan, Monica's husband.
Oh my god.
Don, not just Don, Nicole's husband. I had to make sure.
Just
you know why? Because I had Dan and Don, and I kept accidentally texting one instead of the other, so I had to make it very clear: Monica's boyfriend, Nicole's boyfriend. So I put Evil Dead 2 on. And I was like, holy shit, this is the best thing I've ever seen. This is amazing. This is, oh my God.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready. I don't know why I wasn't ready for it because of how crazy Army of Darkness is. But that kind of tones down the gore and stuff. Because it feels like it's basically a remake. And there was,
yeah.
Well, the continuity for the movies is all over the place. The show made it not a remake with a really funny line of dialogue. We're not going to linger on the show too much because Bruce Campbell always thought that Ash was like, oh, there's no way it'll happen again, and went back.
Yeah.
But no, it was actually a remake because for whatever reason, they couldn't get footage from the first movie because it was owned by a different company.
Oh.
So they're like, let's just remake the first movie the way we kind of want it to with a bigger budget, but with less actors. So yeah, the first half is just an insane remake. It's almost like a one-man, if Linda wasn't in it, but it's almost like a one-man show with Ash.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell is giving it his all, acting-wise.
This is a fucking trip.
It is.
Talk about trippy.
Yes, and they kind of, I guess a lot of people must have seen the first Evil Dead, and they kind of thought it was like, they probably were like laughing but enjoying it, and they're like, all right, let's really play up the humor and the Three Stooges influence, which I don't know why you would put that in a horror movie, but for some reason it works.
It works.
Yes. So what was your takeaway the first time you saw this?
Amazing. I love every aspect of it. This is the best thing I've ever seen.
Did you expect it to be as different than the first one?
I don't know what I was expecting. I don't. I just watched it and I was like, this is amazing.
I think I was kind of confused at first. I was like, wait, this is the same. And then it was like completely different. I was like, but yet I still loved it.
Yes.
I was like, if anybody else, like you said, if anybody else did this, I'd probably be like, I don't want to watch this anymore. Like, why am I wasting my time?
How you get sucked into it then? You can't just stop.
Again,
like, what?
Because of how surreal it is. Like, once that like book is read and whatnot, you're in a different dimension.
Yeah.
And like you're just totally sucked in that world. And I like that you're just with Ash for so long. They sprinkle in the other characters, but I feel like it's a while before they interact with him.
They do.
And the whole thing, like, it's a man fighting with his hand for like 30 minutes. It shouldn't work, but it really, really works. It really works.
Like, there's a scene where it's like Pee Wee Herman-esque.
Yeah.
And which is my favorite scene in the entire movie with the
everything laughing.
The deer, everything laugh. Like as soon as you see the deer
God
talking,
damn it.
What?
I meant to put the deer head I have on the wall for this episode.
Way to go.
I'm not going
It's
upstairs to
it's
get it. I'm not going to. I put my shadow box there. Anyway.
Yes, it's such a great scene because it just takes you almost kind of out of it, but it works. You're just like, this is just I feel like that was like the height of the ridiculousness.
And the Deadites get even crazier.
Oh, yeah.
Linda in this one, with her zombie ballerina thing and her rolling head, that was fucking hilarious. I love Henrietta. That's probably one of my favorite Deadites because it's Ted because you know it's Ted Raimi in the suit. It's like very obviously Ted Raimi in the suit. If you know Ted Raimi is, it makes it even funnier. It's just a good time. Ash, like, you learn to really love Ash because he's kind of a wimp in the first one. He just kind of survives.
Yeah.
He has the Sigourney Weaver arc, which I actually think they beat before Aliens. Because in Alien 1, like, Ripley is, like, smart and everything, but, like, she's not, like, a badass. It wasn't until Aliens where she's in the suit. This is how I feel with Evil Dead. Like, Evil Dead 1, it's like, oh, I was slightly more lucky than everyone. And this one, he's like, I attached a chainsaw to my hand, and now I'm gonna fucking kill the devil.
He's definitely a final boy.
He is. Easily. Yeah, there's just so much to love in this film. Especially these two films. And, actually...
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino.
What about him?
He was on a podcast with Eli Roth, a very famous, popular podcast. Yes. And he was actually quoted saying, like, once he saw both these movies.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a movie mad young guy in your early 20s and you see Raising Arizona and you see Evil Dead 2 and you see that shooting style, it's like, well, what's the point of ever shooting any movie not like that?
I know.
All right, that seemed like, okay, a new shooting style has been developed and everything else looks old-fashioned by comparison.
Yeah, that's how much of an impact it had on Quentin Tarantino.
Tell me more.
It was Quentin Tarantino on that podcast with Eli Roth. A fan, a person in the comments told me to look for that podcast. But yes, Quentin Tarantino said that.
Got it, Quentin Tarantino.
So yes, they really up the humor. They up the gore. There's even a segment on the DVD called The Gore the Merrier where they just go into it. There was a lot cut out of this movie. And some of the deleted scenes have never made it onto any medium.
Really?
Actually, the one DVD says that the infamous squirrel eating scene, only behind the scenes footage of it exists. And it was gone forever. But it actually survived.
And where did it survive?
It survived in the Mexican TV cut. They actually attempted a TV version of Evil Dead 2, and even Bruce Campbell was like, that was a horrible idea. I don't even know why we tried. It only apparently ever aired in Mexico. And if you want to know more about the TV cut, where do you think they could go, Crystal?
I saw that you did a review for it.
I did! You can check out my review of the Mexican TV cut version of Evil Dead 2. I talk about a bunch of the weird changes, and it has the missing squirrel scene. It's kind of a letdown. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of a letdown.
I mean, I really feel like you're hyping it up too.
Yeah.
However, this movie was hyping up the sequel, and like I like that again. The first half, it feels like we're just doing Evil Dead again with better effects, and then the second half, it's like, okay, now the girl's dad is like a wizard ghost. And then we found the pages from the Book of the Dead, and it says that there was this ancient knight who screwed up, and it's clearly Bruce Campbell. And I love that they made him like a really lovable idiot, where he's like, I can't believe that guy's
He's a himbo.
Huh?
He's like Bruce Campbell. Well, I mean, Ash is a himbo.
He is a himbo. He is a himbo.
He is.
He's probably like one of the original himbos.
Yeah, he is. It's such a lovable character because again, he is going insane, and then he hates these other people. Like the other survivors hate him. They treat him like shit, and yet he's the only one who can pull off everything.
Yeah.
So they're setting up all this deep lore about the medieval times and stuff. You're like, what does this have to do with anything? And then the movie ends. It's like, oh, now he's back in time in medieval times. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.